think
I think
everybody's
so.
here. So,
Okay.
good morning, everyone.
Oh,
We are
sorry.
pleased to welcome you to this presentation on faculty wellness, managing stress to support physical and mental health. And today we have Dr. Lynne Trevisan and Dr. Darla Branda here to talk to us. We hope you enjoy this session. Please use the chat to join me to welcome our presenters. And if you would, please mute your sound while they are speaking. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Lynne Trevisan. I am a full-time faculty member, a professor in the Bachelor of Arts in Healthcare Administration, and I've been with the university since 2009.
Hi, everybody. I'm Darla, Branda, and I serve as the program chair and associate professor for the Bachelor's in Health Information Management. I've been in HIM education teaching since 1997, but I've been here at this university for about 2.5 years. So welcome. And Lynn, are you going to advance the slides?
Am.
I just wanted to start with a disclaimer. It's a little bit, I think it's a little in it's a little bit amusing that Lynn and I decided to do this presentation. We presented a very similar presentation last fall at my accreditors summit on higher education, but I think we both sometimes tend to be kind of high stress people. So it's kind of amusing that we decided to talk about faculty wellness and stress, but it's been a lifelong journey for me to get my stress under control. So it's something that is really near and dear, and I think we're both really passionate about it. So
It's that self-care,
mhm.
mindfulness of self-care.
So I'm looking at my slide 4, which is the presentation agenda. And so we just want to cover the highlights real quick here. We're going to talk about the different factors that impact faculty wellness. We're going to look at the signs and symptoms of stress on the body, mind, spirit, emotions, behavior. We're going to also talk about ways that hopefully we can prevent stress. I mean, it's almost impossible, but there are strategies we can do to prevent stress or at least minimize it and then resolve stress once we start noticing the symptoms. The key is really paying attention to yourself. And then we will look at ways that leaders in leadership roles can support faculty in managing their well-being. And then we're going to conclude with a really fun exercise that Dr. Lynn's going to lead us through on a stress relieving technique. So please stick around for that.
Some of the factors that impact faculty wellness can be either positive impacts or negative impacts. Positive is having a sense of purpose and meaning and truly connecting with the work that you're doing. That intellectual stimulation, positive student interactions. I don't know about you all, but I have a folder of emails from students that thank me for the support I give them throughout the class. And that's I always call that my bank of why I teach, because it's those students, the ones that I touch, whose lives I help make better, and who tell me that I have done so. Collaboration and community, and I will say that UAGC is hands down profoundly collegial. And we have a really tight community, which is such a blessing. The autonomy and flexibility, most days I can choose the work I wish to do. Yes, there are due dates, but I can say, okay, these are my priorities. These are the tasks that I want to do. And I have the autonomy to choose which ones I do first and how I get things done. The negative impacts can be the heavy workload or menial tasks. I don't know about y'all, but grading is menial for me, and it's it's really difficult. Job insecurity, especially for our associate faculty who don't know when or if they're getting their next class, lack of recognition, poor communication, student and faculty mental health needs. And after COVID, I noticed a significant difference in this. And I feel like a lot of that stress and anxiety, and almost for some people, they have PTSD from it. And so that mental health change has really impacted uh, everybody in all factors of life. Um, those difficult student interactions. And I will say that I'm currently having one with a student, and we're kind of going back and forth, and managing those difficult student interactions can be challenging. You don't know like what's the right thing to say, and how do we stop that negative spiral. Isolation, especially in the online environment, the pay and the benefits, and the lack of resources to support teaching. Darla, I'm on the next slide, which is slide 6, which is mine. So some of the signs of stress on your mental health are having difficulty starting your day and doing the work. So this is also known as avoidance. Um, Struggling to focus on your work, being distracted by everything, having, I have my email open, I might have Teams open, I have students who are emailing me, I have administrative emails. So there's a lot that comes in all day, every day, and it makes it challenging to focus on a task that I need to get done. Can people mute their mics if they're not? Thank you. So, anger and limited patience with others. And I see this in some of our faculty, in the way they communicate with students. And that that impatience comes through in their messaging. Changes in sleep routine. Yep, had that. um, and that's also part of age. Feeling detached from your work and colleagues, and that feeling of detachment, I feel like it's more of a self-directed detachment. Like it's those it's that sense of I'm not going to engage because I need to have downtime mentally. No longer caring about the quality of your work, and decreased confidence in skills and ability. Next slide, we have our first poll. Shelley, could you put the poll up, please? Shelley?
Oh, I didn't see a link. Is there a link to it on there? There wasn't a link on it or anything. If they
No.
can see the poll, I can add up I thought they were just gonna respond in the chat.
Okay. If you could respond in the chat, please, that'd be great. Thank you. And Shelley, could you mute anybody who is not us? Thank you. Our,
Yeah.
our participants, please. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on so that we are staying on task and on time.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like heavy
Well,
workload
most
might be the
people said-
winner.
Oh yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I'm gonna flip back to my slides, but I believe we're on the graphic on slide 8. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, super. Okay, so we just wanted to give a visual of what stress can appear like on your body, mind, emotions, and behaviors. And if you look over the list, it can show up in many different ways. We're all different, but these are some of the more common elements, especially I would say fatigue, muscle symptoms, maybe stomach symptoms, sometimes excessive worry, inability to make decisions. And I would go so far as to say stress really, for me, I know a big factor for me is I get decision fatigue and problem solving fatigue because we make so many decisions every day. There's some research I just came across, I can't remember, but it's like in the thousands and thousands of decisions. We make really micro decisions and then maybe larger decisions throughout the day. And that alone can make you very tired and maybe make you feel stressed. So this is just an image that we wanted to share. It's important for you to kind of recognize these symptoms, because the sooner you can recognize them, the sooner you can start acting and taking those self-care measures we're going to talk about later to hopefully prevent it. And I just want to show you all, this was something I came across after we submitted this presentation. It's a book. I don't know if you can see it.
If you hold it in your front of you,
There
upside
we
of
go.
stress.
I just found this book a few weeks ago and I've been reading it. It's called The Upside of Stress, which is kind of contradictory to what we're talking about today. But it's got some really interesting research. It's by Kelly McConigal. She's a PhD in, I think, neuro research or something like that. But it talks about not all stress has to be bad. And so like an example would be, the first thing that came to my mind is I have 3 children. That was very exciting, but also very stressful. It was a good stress, but it also could be a bad stress when you're severely sleep deprived, right? So there are some positives to stress. You can, I guess what I haven't read, I've only read the first few chapters, but what I'm gleaning from this book is that you can channel that stress into a positive way. Like it's our students, they're very stressed, but they can channel that stress into energy that they need to do well on a final exam, for example. So it doesn't always have to be bad. And there's levels of stress. What's really good about this book? It talks about there's different, running late for a meeting is stressful, or trying to get your children off to daycare and get to work on time, that's stressful. But that's a very different kind of stress than being in a severe accident or waiting for someone to come out of surgery in a critical care situation. So there's levels of stress, and how we manage it becomes very important. So let me go ahead to the next slide. I believe I am on slide 9 on how to prevent stress in the workplace. And I am cautious of time, so I'm not going to talk about every single item on this list, but this does have a nice graphic about determining what's urgent and what's not urgent. And I think that's really critical when we look at our day and our to-do list. I used to think I have to get every single thing done today. And I've really scaled back and said, okay, I keep a running list of things I have to do, but if I can get what are the top 3 most important things that have to be done today? And that has really helped my mindset and tackle things. And then I find that I have more energy because I'm not dreading, I have 20 things to get done today. I'm like, no, I just have these 3. And that's really been a major shift for me. And I just started doing that in the last probably 6 months, and it's definitely helped. Also, you can, one of the things that our assistant dean advocates for us to do is to block off time on our calendar and put an outgoing message on Outlook and just say, hey, we're in the office, but we're working on a time sensitive project right now. And we will reply as soon as we can. Maybe not today, but by tomorrow. And that has, I think, helped us out quite a bit also. And it's also okay to say no, especially if you cannot meet your deadlines. It's better to say no than to overcommit and be delinquent on deadlines. There's also lots of different technology tools that you can do to reduce your workload. We have a lot of different tools in Canvas to help us with grading and communicating with our students and keeping track of all of that. There's also different resources available online. I know Monday.com is one, and there's other. I've noticed that a lot of our colleagues have started using some technology to take notes during meetings, so that kind of streamlines that process a bit. And then I would leave on this slide, the one thing I really want to focus on here is to find someone you trust to talk to on a regular basis. I have 2 go-to people. They don't work at this university, but they do work at universities and they have jobs similar to mine. So they totally understand when I'm talking about I have to do my accreditation report or I have to get all these papers graded. They understand all that. And so finding someone you can count on that's going to, if you're venting, they're going to keep that to themselves. They're not going to put it out there on LinkedIn for the whole world to see. So I find that that's been super helpful. And then the next slide, please, slide 10. And these are just some different strategies that leaders can do to help faculty with their well-being. And I would say that all of us in one way or another are leading others. Either we're leading ourselves other people or our students. And so everyone can benefit from using these strategies. One of the big things in addition to technology, which we already talked about, is I think a really important thing that's been important for me is planning and forecasting my workload. So when we get those reports to plan out our course load for the year, it's good to keep in mind what courses are you going to be redeveloping, what other, do you have accreditation things you have to take care of. The thing that I've been trying to do in my personal work life is get all of my teaching done by early spring so then I can focus on my accreditation reports and different things I have, my deliverables for that are due, that are going to be due soon. And then as Lynn mentioned already, difficult students, we've all had them. I had one last week and it took my entire Monday right during WASC accreditation, but we can't choose when these things come up, but leaders can really help in this way by just being there for faculty. Listening, I think, is key, offering advice when it's asked, providing resources, and just providing, just that shoulder to lean on during that challenging time. And then also flexibility is really important. A lot of times we do have strict deadlines, but sometimes we can have a little wiggle room. And as long as that's not becoming a habit, sometimes it's warranted. And then lastly, I would just add, excuse me, is just putting our faith in our faculty and not micromanaging them. Nobody likes to be micromanaged, and I think that has really negative consequences. So I'll leave you with that, and we can go on to the next slide for the fun stuff.
So some of the stress relieving activities and techniques that are helpful for managing stress are to get up and move, just some form of actual movement to get the blood pumping through your system. Meditation, yoga, Pilates, and deep breathing are all great. And we're going to do a very quick meditation in just a few minutes. Spending time with animals, being out in nature, and a lot of people make fun of tree hugging, but if you can get out in nature barefoot, or lean against a tree and hug it, it is a source of grounding, of getting back to nature, of feeling that connection to Mother Earth, socializing with friends and laughing. If you can laugh, if you don't have a chance to socialize with friends, but laughter is the best medicine, and you can find a funny video on YouTube. Good nutrition, complementary and alternative medicines such as chiropractic, acupuncture, massage therapy, and so on. And it's okay to lean out from watching the news and seeing all of the drastic, just all that bad news. Step away from it, pull away and kind of view it from above if you can. And I know that is a statement of privilege, but if it's not impacting you immediately, just pull away from it.
There's about
We have
5 minutes left, just to let you know.
Okay, thank you. We have our next poll. If you could put your answers in the chat, that would be great. What self-care activities help you recover from feeling burned out? Physical exercise, meditation, yoga, Pilates, deep breathing, spending time with animals in nature, socializing with friends, laughter, the healthy diet or complementary and alternative health medicines, social activism, or something else. Okay, I'm going to move on because I want to spend some time on this. All right, so if you could put yourself in a comfortable position, feet on the floor, and just close your eyes and relax. And I'm going to do an inhale, exhale, and when you do that, I want you to focus only on your breath in that moment. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And keep breathing at that same pace. Inhale. And exhale. And as you go through this breathing, I want you to feel your entire body just fully relax. All the tension in your body drains down through your feet and into the earth. And as you feel that tension leave your body, thank Mother Earth for taking it and cleansing it and returning it to the universe, refreshed and cleared. Inhale and exhale. Know that there are two basic emotions, fear and love. All other emotions branch off of those. And so as you release that tension from your body, let the fear energy go with it and fill your body filling with love energy. Now I want you to imagine something that brings you joy, something that puts a smile on your face, whether that's spending time with animals or your friends or your family or a childhood memory, whatever makes you feel joy in this moment. Inhale and exhale. And when I count to 3, I'm going to bring you back up to full awake. 1, 2, 3. And please know that you are incredibly powerful and divine spirit loves you so deeply. Okay. Darla, I believe. So are there any questions?
I'm going through the chat. I don't see any. I did want to remind everyone we prepared a handout that includes all the references and resources that we like to use that we supported with this presentation, and it also has a list of apps. There's an endless list of apps. We just kind of highlighted some of the most common ones, but we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah. Thank you so much for attending today. We're grateful that you're here. We hope you came away with some good information. We have included our contact information here if you'd like to reach out to us. And I hope you'll download the resources document that Darla shared in the chat.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.